Welcome to our few minutes together on the Parsha. This Shabbos in Chutz La'aretz, we are a little bit behind Eretz Yisrael because we had the last day of Pesach on Shabbos, while in Eretz Yisrael, that Shabbos was already the next Parshios. So we're a little behind. We'll eventually catch up soon. But this week in Chutz La'aretz, we're reading Parsha Tazria Metzora. Now, Parsha Tazria begins with giving birth and the law of Bris Milah, and immediately segues into the laws of Tzaras. Tzaras is a physically profound disease, which is a physiological phenomena manifesting an inner spiritual malaise, which doesn't find its expression only in the spirit, but even in the body itself. As our rabbis tell us, that the motzi ra, the one who brings out bad about others, the one who is saying Lashon Hara, gets this physical skin disease, which manifests itself and requires that the person go out of the camp, which is a midah keneged midah concept, measure for measure. This individual said bad about someone else and was trying to ostracize that person from the inner circle. So this person is ostracized for all three camps. That's when the tzaras affects the body of the person. But we find in Tazria and also in Metzora that the tzaras can affect even clothing made out of normal clothing things like wool and leather too. And in Metzora, it even talks about tzaras, a certain type of discoloration affecting the stones of houses. And when it talks about affecting the stones of houses, the Torah tells us in Perek Yud Daled and Pasuk Lamed Daled, Hashem says to the Bnei Yisrael, Ki savo'u el Eretz Canaan, when you will come to the land of Canaan, Hashem ani nosin lochem la'achuza, which I am giving to you as an inheritance and as a possession. It's your achuza, it's something you ochaz, you hold on to. Then it's possible that Osati Negat Tzaras Beveis Eretz Achuzaschem. I will place a plague of Tzaras in the house of your possession, in your houses. Now, why were there Tzaras coming on the houses? So Rashi offers one explanation in which he says, and he quotes in the Torah's Kahanim, that it says, Besura hi lahem. He is telling the Jewish people, Sha'anagoim boim alehem, that the plagues come on the houses that the Jewish people are taking possession of, lefi shehitminu emoriim matmonios shel zohav bekiros botehem, bekoros botehem, because the Amorites, who they took over the land from, hid golden treasures in the walls of their houses. Kol Arbaim Shana Shah Yisrael B'Midbar, all 40 years that the Jews were in the desert planning to come in, they had word that they're going to come, so they hid their jewels in the walls. Va'al Yadei HaNega Noseitz Abayasum B'Tzan, and when the Nega came, so the house had to be taken apart and they found the jewels. So Hashem wanted to give jewels, according to the Rashi explains it, to the Jewish people, and the way to give it to them was by causing a nega. Of course, this presents many issues and questions, and I'm not going to go into that particular branch of the discussion at this moment. But the Gemara in Yuma gives another explanation. The Gemara in Yuma says on Daf Yud Aleph that the onesh of the tzaras comes on the house because the person was tzaras ayin. The person had a very narrow eye, and he wouldn't lend someone else a hoe or a shovel in order to help him plow his field. And when he came to him and asked him, do you have it? He said, no, I don't have these implements. And unfortunately, the whole house had to be emptied out, and they saw the implements, in fact, were there. That's another reason, according to the Gemara in Yuma. The interesting thing, I think, about this particular idea is something that is expressed by the Tiferes Yehonasan, Rabbi Yonasan Eibeshitz, who so beautifully explains, if the real reason was because of some sin or because of some type of bad that the Jewish people did, what about the Amorites themselves? They weren't that good. Why is it that the houses, when the Jews came in, didn't have all of these plagues on the walls because of the Amorim, the Canaanim? They were very, very lowly people, totally immoral, devoid of any moral sense of right and wrong, and yet their houses did not have Nagaim. Why is that? Why did the Nagaim only come when the Jewish people took over the houses? So the Rabbi Yonasan Eibeshitz says so beautifully, you know, the land of Israel responds to its inhabitants. When the Jewish people come in and they take possession, now there's all of a sudden the concept of Tumah and Tahara. Now there can be impure and there can be pure. When there's a possibility that the land could be raised to the highest levels of Kedusha by virtue of the Jewish people living there, then when someone is having tsaras ha'ayin, when someone is not being able to give his friend to loan something, if the midos of the person don't come out in a good way, what's going to happen is that the land is going to evidence that. The land of Israel has this unique thing. Only the Jewish people can make it bloom. For 2,000 years, it was desolate. Anyone could have come into the land and taken it over. There were only a handful of Jews who maintained the Jewish presence in the land of Israel at all times. Anyone could have come in and tried to make it land bloom, but no one did. But it was only when the Jewish people came in and they made the land into a vibrant land that Hashem said, when the Jewish people come back, the land will flower and flourish. And look at it today, 67 years after the founding of the state, how brilliant and beautiful the land is. Yes, you'll tell me, but there are plagues in the walls. Yes. The land of Israel has its problems, and it's not clear cut. We have our difficulties, because when the people come in and they take possession, now the land demonstrates that there's two sides to it. If one will be holy, if we'll maintain our Kedusha, then the land will flourish. Otherwise, within the walls of our own cities will come the strife that is evidenced by the plague that can be in the walls. What a beautiful idea for Klal Yisrael to think about as we talk about our homeland, and we talk about the land that we know is Eretz Achuzaschem, the land of your possession. It has this unique feature that it responds to the great good of the Jewish people, and unfortunately also responds to the negative. We have an opportunity to make it the positive. We have an opportunity to make the land of Israel flourish and to think of it only in terms of all the positive attributes that it has. And that's the way we should think about it. There's something to say about the fact that it's our homeland and that we look forward to the day when each and every one of us will have a chance to fulfill what we said at the end of the Pesach Seder. L'shana ha'ba'ah b'Yerushalayim habenuya. Have a great Shabbos.